It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, what's happening? What's happening, everybody? Hopefully you guys can hear us. This is we're coming to you live from a laptop here in the middle of the Delta Lounge here in the Detroit airport. I got my main man, Mike Hoogheem, joining us this evening. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody.
This is Mike's first time live on Facebook ever, I think, right?
Correct, yeah.
That's Mike's first time, so if he seems a little nervous, just make fun of him, poke fun of him or something so he can loosen up a little bit.
A little sweaty, but
So tonight's topic, man, is going to be an interesting one. You know, we say whatever it takes in our company, and I want to talk about some things that happened this week on our way to this meeting, and give you guys an idea of whatever it takes and what that actually looks like. Because this guy next to me had a couple things happen en route to this meeting that we just had today. And he is the true definition of whatever it takes. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and give you guys the details of when it looks. All right. Hopefully we're back. Can everybody give us a thumbs up if we're back? We just lost. But I was unaware that there was a Delta Sky Lounge Wi-Fi signal. So Mike helped me out there to show me that I was on the wrong one. So we should be good to go. If everybody could give us some thumbs up there, let us know that we're good to go. So at any rate, you know, we've been working on a very large project for a client of ours for, I guess, the last 3 months, pretty much. Yeah, so like 3 months. And, you know, we did a lot of pavement assessments. We're collecting a lot of site data, photos, things like that. So we got people, you know, all over, like 10 states, 8 states, something like that, collecting data and you know, presenting that data to the customer to help them manage their pavement assets better. And we put that into a system that Mike built. And about 3 hours before you were supposed to get up to board the plane to come here.
It was 11:15 on Sunday night, and I leave by 3:30 Monday morning.
So 3:30 Monday morning he's supposed to leave, and at 11:30 Sunday night he's trying to make a little bit of a tweak to how we were presenting this information to the customer in our software, and he deleted like a large chunk of what we were supposed to go through this morning at 8:30 a.m. So when we say whatever it takes, so first and foremost, I should preface that by saying that this dude worked for like literally 2 weeks straight on pretty much nothing else. Just getting this stuff entered into the system, and then, you know, the night before that happens, he deleted everything by accident. So I want to tell him a little bit about how that went down, and then
first of all, I
what it looked like.
Put my hands in my face like this, told my wife that what I did, and she says, "Well, don't you save it?" And I said, "I think it's time for you to go to bed." But
if you're watching, Lori, that's
yeah, no kidding.
You know, it's probably not the right thing to say in that very moment. It's a true statement.
I apologized the next morning. I said that I was sorry for being a little angry the night before, but. So I went to bed. Actually, I stayed up for another hour and started, you know, trying to recover what I had lost. And then after about 45 minutes of realizing I couldn't do that, feeling like I was going to throw up a couple times, I just decided it was time just to hop to it and get back to it. So I finally went to bed that night at about 1 o'clock, got up at 2:45, took a shower and left for the airport, got on the airplane. First thing I did on the airplane was just start plowing away. I had about 2.5 hours on the plane to get here and got through about a quarter of what I needed to get done. So then I sat in the hotel room until, I don't know, probably 1 o'clock in the morning last night. Finally got it all finished, and or as good as I possibly could do at this point. And I'm happy with what happened. I mean, but I got 0 sleep in 24 hours to make it happen.
Yeah, and so to give you guys an idea of how you handle such a thing, because Mike was still freaking out at breakfast this morning, thinking that things weren't going to go so well, and you know, we just, you know, I said, man, what we're presenting to them is extremely valuable information, and what you put together, man, is super impressive. So, you know, minor details that we might be missing, man, we're just going to walk in there and tell them what happened. And that's the first thing I said. I said, man, we got a great story for you about our journey on the way here. They said, why, was it a bad hotel? Was it? I said, oh no, I wish it was a bad hotel. That would have been a lot easier. And you know, we wanted to share this story with you guys tonight because I think that a lot of people run into these kinds of things, you know, and we do on a regular basis, and we typically don't, you know, go out and share stuff like this. You know, we're not looking for sympathy or anything. I don't think
We don't
Mike's
actually
looking
make
for
mistakes, right? That's
yeah, but the reality is the understanding that, you know, everybody goes through this stuff, right? And you shouldn't ever, number one, you should never spend a moment feeling bad about the fact that things happen, because they happen, right? You're trying to do something better, and you end up, you know, doing something that costs you some time and costs you whatever. But at the end of the day, I can guarantee you that we won't have that happen again, because you know you go through that and it causes you some agony, and it's a lesson, right? I mean, you learn something from it. You learn, you know, number one, not to, you know, do things the night before, probably with regard to alterations of the system that we're using and stuff. But the reality is that these are the things that happen in business, and they happen more often than anybody understands. And so, you know, when you get into those kinds of situations, the number one piece of advice that I would give you is give your teammate, give whoever you're working with support, right? Don't create anxiety for them, because they are probably already feeling a little bit
copy of the database
of it already. Yeah, and make sure you, as Mike's wife said, click save. Yeah, it would be a great idea to click save on your computer. And again, though, you can click it as many times as you want, man. I've done it a million times, and I've deleted stuff that I've worked on, and I've had the same face palm and the same thing, and it's, you know, it's just one of those things. And so, you know, I think it's important, though, for people to realize that, you know, as you're going through this stuff, as you're building, you know, a company or building a business or trying to advance in your career or whatever situation you're in, you're always going to run into things that are very, very difficult. And, you know, the title of this show that I put out there was "Whatever It Takes." It's not just a motto. You know, it's something that we didn't really come up with, whatever it takes, you know, as a company. It just, we were on a job site, and it was not a good situation in that scenario that we were in as well. And we just kind of looked at each other and said, man, whatever it takes, right? If we got to be here 17 hours, 20 hours, 24 hours, 20, whatever it takes, we're just going to do it. And, you know, that kind of became our marching orders, right? Every time we get in a situation, we just kind of look at each other and we say, whatever it takes, man. And that's the attitude that we look for in the people that we bring into the company. You know, it's what we try to portray to our customers and to everybody else. And, you know, it really has become like kind of a heartbeat of what we do.
Absolutely.
You know, and this guy over here is 100% a model of that. You know, it's, you know, from the time that I met the guy, it was always a grinder. And, you know, this project, if you guys could understand the depth of what it takes to do something like this, it was almost, you know, between 150 and 200 locations of data.
With a minimum of 15, and some had more. I mean, there was probably 55 or 5,600 photos total that we went through.
Yeah. So to give you guys an idea, you know, that many photos and that many data points, that is what we provided to the customer today, right? It's getting that information to the customer so that they can make their decisions based on facts and data, instead of, you know, just kind of shooting from the hip. And how do you think it went with the customer? Mike was worried. Mike was like sweating bullets at 8:05, and at 8:35 he was like feeling a lot different, right?
And by 10:35 or 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, when the meeting was actually over, which was like almost a 4-hour meeting for this. I mean, it was, it was like,
and it turned out great. And so, you know, the lesson, I think, is, you know, never be too hard on yourself. You know, just take it all in stride. You're going to make mistakes, and, you know, the key to making mistakes is just to be able to persevere through it and have that kind of whatever it takes attitude. You know, you just roll your sleeves up. Whatever you get yourself into, you can get yourself out of. And you know, when you're in it deep, just understand that the only thing that's constant in this world is change. So
I wanted to give up so many times, dude.
I'm sure.
I mean, last night at 10:30, when I had zero sleep for the last 36 hours. I wanted to give up so many times last night, but I just couldn't do it, right?
Yeah, and it's funny, man, because I could tell how tired you were. And here's what's interesting is walking out of that meeting today, you didn't seem tired at all.
No, well, no, like I said,
It all changes, right?
And after lunch, I said to you too, it's like my mind was actually clear after working 2 weeks on this, down this rat hole that, my family probably suffered from, my employee, my coworkers probably suffered from, because I wasn't able to help much. I mean, I felt like this relief off my shoulders, just to know that I had accomplished that, and the grind that it took to get there was just incredible. But I mean, it felt good.
Yeah, and I think another good point to make is, last week I could tell Mike was kind of getting down to the wire. He was wearing out. You could just kind of sense it, hear it in his voice. And so, I said to him, like, hey man, you've taken us this far. This weekend, if anything needs done on this, let me know and I'll help. And I didn't get any phone calls from him. And I was talking to Eli on Sunday night, and he's like, he didn't call you, he didn't take you up on the offer. And I said, man, if I did 95% of that work, I wouldn't want somebody else finishing the last 5% either, right? It just, it's one of those things. It's a pride thing. It's like, you want to ring the bell,
Absolutely.
right? You don't, if you're out in the ocean and you're fishing and you fight a fish for 2 hours and that sucker's 5 feet from the boat, man, you're not handing somebody else to pull.
That's right.
And that's, that's the sign of a champion. It's the sign of a person that's committed and has a lot of pride in what they do. And, I appreciate everything that this guy does for us. I would not be able to do it without you, man. None of us would be able to do it without you. And, it's there is nothing better than building something from nothing, number one, right?
Yes.
Doing it with people that you care about, doing it with people that feel like family, and then being able to take what you built and solve people's problems, right? And walk away from a meeting knowing that that those guys that we met with and their the rest of the people in that facilities department, they're going to get more time with their families. They're going to have an easier job. They're going to save a lot of money. They're going to do a lot of things better with the information that we were able to provide. And at the end of the day, that's where the pride in your work, that's where the pride in your company really comes from. It can't be, that stuff can't be manufactured. It has to be real. Those results come from real commitment and delivering and creating something from nothing and listening to customers, listening to their problems, and then creating real solutions to it. And the system that we use, by the way, guys, to deliver this information, this guy sitting next to me learned how to build that entire system. So from GPS coordinating photos, creating recommendations, this entire system that we use to leverage the data that helps our customers solve problems. This guy learned how to build that stuff. How'd you learn how to use it?
A lot of research on YouTube.
YouTube. No kidding.
A lot of reading on YouTube. Late nights.
No college degree in computer science. No, I don't think you even took any college courses in computers, did you?
No.
Yeah, nothing. YouTube, old-fashioned, hard work, roll up your sleeves, countless nights until the wee hours of the morning, learning how to do something.
The hardest part was trying to figure out what things were called. I mean, just to figure out
the language,
trying to figure out what you're looking up. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I had no idea what JavaScript or how something would work.
Hopefully Google helps you, right? Like you type in something
bit.
Close and Google gives you a recommendation.
And then well, sort of, and then you can kind of dig deeper into it after that. But yeah, that was the hardest part, was just trying to figure out what I was even researching.
And I think that the other thing that I would tell you guys that are watching is, don't ever believe that there's anything you can't do. Because if this guy could take, the information that we have and the way that we did things and turn that into a software program with no experience, and you did it in
a couple of years. I mean, really.
This
part we started probably in May.
Yeah.
May or June, April or May, I think was when we were still
So
doing
April or May until now, where we have a usable product that's actually solving our customers' problems in a big way. That's a huge differentiator for our company. All of that happened because this guy decided to solve a problem, and that's should be encouraging to all you guys. Whether it's something that you've had in mind that you've thought about trying, just go try it, and find people that encourage you, find people that help you, that find the resources that support you, that help you feel like there's something important that you're doing that means something to people, and and when you do that and you come up with a solution to people's problems, and you do that as part of a team and working together, man, the end result is, it's just magic, man. I don't know how else to put it. It feels like, when we walk out of these meetings, I could tell you that the look is probably the same every single time. If somebody had a camera on us, like we just kind of walk out of the meeting and kind of look at each other with like
one of these every time.
One of these, like,
yeah.
man, we just helped another person. We just helped another couple of people, and it's cool to be able to help people and to get compensated for that, and to be able to build a company and a team around that mission. So, well, I got to go catch a flight. I'm headed to Richmond, Virginia. Mike's headed back home to Minneapolis.
To New Richmond, Wisconsin.
That's right. I'm headed to Richmond. He's headed to New Richmond.
Yep.
So I got to catch my flight here in a couple of minutes, and then tomorrow evening, hopefully, as long as no flights get delayed, I got to go from Richmond to New York, and New York back to Pittsburgh. So. But I appreciate all you guys that jumped on this evening. What's happening? Trisha, Todd, my wife's on here. Jared, Ryan, Austin, what's happening, man? Great to see you the other day. Darren Ridnour, Keith, Ed, what's happening, brother? Ken, Jeff, Eli, Judd, Trisha, Christina. Man, we have a lot of people on here. Dayton. Jason, what's happening, guys? Thank you guys for jumping on. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to the team, man. What an awesome, it's just cool to be able to go.
I got to throw a shout out to my wife for late Sunday night for some things that I may have said accidentally. I apologize.
Listen, shout out to all of our spouses for what they do to support our mission and our journey here at the Pavement Group. And there's my mom. And, just... It's an incredible feeling, to look around and look back at, our short couple year history here and look at the progress that we've made, and, just know that you did it together. You did it with a team of people, and as that team grows and as, that teamwork, comes together, it just puts jet fuel in the tank, and there's nothing better, I don't think, than that feeling of, there's nothing better in business than knowing that you have the right people around you, and knowing that when you have those people around you, that there is nothing you can't do. And that's how I feel as a part of this team, and just grateful for everybody on the team that plays a part in making us successful. So appreciate you.
Amen.
Brother. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I will see you, I don't know if I'll see you tomorrow morning because I got early meeting, but let's see. I'll see if I see you at 7:30. If not, I'll see you at the airport. Whatever it takes. I'll see you at sometime tomorrow on morning or afternoon or evening perspective. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.